going on, everybody? It is another episode 3 of Wolf Talk. I am your host, Mr. Banks. We have No Risk, No Premium, Chris as a co-host, and we
What's
have
going on? What's going on?
Dion
Yes, sir.
on
What's up?
as our first guest. Welcome, Dion. How's it
What's
going?
good? Great, man. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm ready to have fun with this.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's good to see you again because a lot of people don't know, but we actually held a little webinar for the Wolves group with you on
That was the
taxes.
first one, wasn't that the first one?
Yeah.
was the very first one.
Yeah, first of many. Let's go.
Yeah,
And now the first guest, so he really didn't fuck up. We had to have him back.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
First on everything.
Let's go. All right, Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for
I
coming,
appreciate
Dion.
you guys. Hell yeah.
Yep.
No, so for all our new listeners, just give them a quick rundown of like what you're up to, what you do for a living.
Man, just trying to be an overall business resource. But I started, went to school for accounting, graduated, got my CPA, worked in the corporate world a little bit, explored that, learned from that, fucked up in that, all of it,
Everything.
kind of learned that, but then kind of found my direction in real estate, started getting swayed that direction where now I'm still doing the accounting thing independently, a little consulting, bookkeeping, whatever like small businesses or entrepreneurs might need. I kind of help them there, as well as I tie it in with real estate. So,
Nice.
I'm deep in that, and that's kind of where my passion is right now, really. Like, even though the market is kind of not pretentious for us, but not yet, but we're gonna get, I want to just build the foundation and infrastructure, especially like for groups like the Wolves.
Yeah, because it's I would imagine, especially being out in like the LA area, that you'd have like it's about networking and making the connections, especially in the real estate scene.
Exactly.
100%. All right, hey Dion, let's dive a little bit more into what you do. You're not just the the bottom feeder broker or agent, where you're just slinging buyers at people and trying to feed resumes to your mortgage lender or whatever. Talk a little bit about the market that you're in, the properties that you view. Some of the price tags associated. Talk about some sales you guys did last year.
Yeah, no. So, I kind of linked up with who's my mentor and now my partner. And we're in the luxury development world. So what we do, we're the ones looking for those bottom feeder homes just for the lots, though. We're looking for the land most likely. So we're on the ground doing everything to find those, because the unwritten rule kind of in the game we play is once you sell the land to the investors or the developers, they're going to build those, $4 to $5 million luxury homes and give us the listing on the back end. And that's where we really get to leverage our business, because we get the nice listings. The upfront, it's a kind of a 1.5-year process. Like, you sell them the land to go, to break ground and to build all the way up. It takes usually 1 year to 1.5 years. So, we have to be patient. So we're always, constantly looking for those teardowns, anything that you could add value, even, flips. But the money really is when you could find and get on the other side of those, luxury $1 million listings. And, the buyers there, the buyer pool is very slim, like you're saying. A lot. I mean, like, once you get past that 3-4 million, you have to have money in the bank. You probably do just naturally, off what you do.
It's very connection focused.
Very,
you only know a handful of people that would even be interested in.
Exactly. So it's like a slim marketing strategy. It's like really, just showing that upper echelon is for them, because they could kind of go anywhere. They could go outside of LA and be kings, or they could be in LA and be kind of not normal, but just on the higher end of the middle class, because, it does reach higher points. So even that $4 to $5 million keeps you humble, because down the street there's something like 15 million. So it's like, okay. So, but those ones are still, they have, doctors, whatever it may be, your highest professionals, they come in with cash, 10 to 15 day close. It's really a different game you're playing. I mean, we play in the more conventional game too, but what we would like to do is, not as much volume, but really just every product is going to be like luxury top tier to put us in that echelon, because it
Yeah.
takes a while to be those top tier guys,
Mhm.
Ryan Serhant, all those big guys, that are in the game. It takes, okay, I have to see your name on 10 luxury listings before I give you the next tier. There's tiers in that
Yeah.
level too.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's
sure
definitely.
there's a
like
bunch of politics
it's
involved.
very,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is. It's like, especially in LA, it's like half it is
Ah,
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Half it, so
yeah.
it's like, yeah, you
Everyone's
can't.
connected with somebody.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, like
Everybody knows somebody. Yeah,
something
definitely.
somehow,
No.
it's crazy, but it's fun though. I really
Mhm.
like enjoy it. Even just the
Yeah.
grind and learning at the same time is like, challenge. Where we like how we came up. The challenge was like every day.
Every day.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, every
every
day
day
it's
you
like,
stepped
oh
in.
shit,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It was
So it
no, there
was
was never a day out, never an easy day. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It was
So
a constant grind every day. No.
grind and get better. So that's kind of where my mindset is with real estate right now, and then just kind of using the accounting thing and kind of tying it in. Like, okay, if you're
Yeah.
running your business and you're accounting right, eventually you're gonna have real estate. Or I know, those people are gonna pipeline. Just like the wolves are, like, all of
Yeah.
them are.
Mhm.
Even if they don't invest, they're gonna be there eventually. Like, I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
Trail
definitely.
talks,
Exactly.
everybody talks about it. So it's
Mhm.
just relevant, it's all relevant
Mhm.
and intertwined.
No, definitely. I just thought it was an important point to talk about just the level that you got into, and it's not
Yeah.
a level, you know, and this is no knock at anybody that goes and gets a real estate license or that does those residential houses, under a mill or whatever. Um, but they're a dime a dozen. I mean, everybody and their brother goes and takes the weekend course to go, be a real estate agent at some point. Some stick, some don't, and that's not going to knock anybody that has had success. Just want to let them know, where Dion's gotten to. It's not somewhere that you just you accidentally get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Definitely
I just
hard
want to
work.
make that apparent to everybody. But yeah. Anyway,
Oh,
um,
that's cool. I had a question. What where do you usually find your property? Like what kind of like areas?
So like,
I guess right now, like what's like the good.
the thing with real estate is like you have to really find your niche. So our niche is like a development within, like, really we're working within like a 2 mile radius, really trying
Okay.
to just dig in, because once you spread yourself too thin, it's like either your name recognition is not going to be there, or
mhm,
you're really trying to reach out to the same person kind of 10 times. It really is like
Yeah.
ours is an 8 time like time we try to hit them before we even start a relationship.
I
So
feel
it's
you.
like we're really working in these like small confines within the LA area where the price points make sense, where you could grind the same amount, and have, you could do that, but the people are the same. Like the real estate business, what I learned is really the people. So we kind of work in West Hollywood, the Grove,
Nice.
Mhm.
just areas right there. We try to stay on flat land for real estate. It's easier to do that because the land,
Yeah,
the
way
land,
easier
the
to build
value,
on.
the value, yeah, the value is just consistent. When you're in the hills, there's a lot more that goes into the building when you're building on the side
I'm
of
sure it's
like,
more
yeah,
expensive if
yeah,
you've got a
well,
fucking
oh, dude,
yeah,
bro,
Yeah.
yeah, I
no,
imagine.
seriously, sometimes that's more than the whole house cost. Just to
Yeah.
Mm.
no, no, serious, because you got to dig out the whole hill and then put
Mhm.
those huge ass beams with, like,
Yeah, no.
it's crazy. It takes a while. So like we try to keep it simple, like where we know the value. Just kind of, okay. We use our numbers. That's where my accounting comes in. It's like, okay, oh, I
Mhm.
see a 7,000 lot in this area. Okay, it's 2 million on the backside. It's going to be 4.5. The guy's spread is this. I know
Mhm.
what a deal is, so I'll push it to him. That's kind of how we work.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, okay, if you don't want him, let me call the guy next door that built one. And we're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, we're literally just calling whoever built, because it's crazy. It's only like it's a handful of people that are building in the same area.
Yeah.
So they're just
Mhm.
recycling. It's like a cookie cutter process. So
Mhm.
we're just playing our part in the game until we reach that. It's like, as a real estate agent, my idea and my goal is to be a principal. So it's like I'm learning how they're working, so I could just use it in my own, wherever it might be. It might not be there, but if I could learn their infrastructure and how they're operating, it's like they're doing it kind of like they're buying candy. Like They're
Yeah.
spending million. Like it's not. They're not thinking twice. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're out here buying more real estate than they are cars, and they really. I mean, they have cars, 10 cars in the garage. So it's not. It's crazy to me just how freely they're making this money move, knowing that the return is there.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
moving that confidently through any market, especially like it was up and down. They were still moving the same.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's how what I strive to be. That type of principle in some market. It doesn't even have to be LA though.
I
Yeah.
feel
I mean,
like those guys. Yeah, go ahead, Justin.
I was just gonna say, like, once you're at that level, I mean, no matter what's going on, you're still gonna be using your money to make money
Yeah,
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 that's
constantly,
what I
like,
was about to
all the time.
say.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, all they're thinking is they're
Yeah.
not thinking like, "Oh, I'll buy a $200,000 car, and that shit ain't gonna pay me shit. But if
Yeah,
I put
yeah,
2 million in a property, what's that gonna yield me?" And then
Yeah.
that's how they think about spending money. What's
yeah,
the back end deal for me?
yeah,
So I feel
Exactly.
like at that point it's all got to be the same. But that's
yeah.
not the mindset of everybody.
And
No.
that's the cool thing about the Wolves. Though. Everyone has that like, oh,
Yeah.
how can I tenfold what I have, regardless of what it is, even if it's a small
Mhm.
account. Like that's the cool part. Like, let's just make it work.
Yeah.
Talk
Because
about
like
our goal, Justin. Talk about what we were
that.
talking about with Trell this week.
Which one? Oh yeah.
uh,
I mean, yeah. Oh, so the investment club.
yeah, the
Yeah.
investment club. Yeah, go ahead.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
yeah. At some point, I mean, I don't want to give too much out, but yeah, we definitely want to turn it
not
into,
yet.
and it's big
Little
time.
teaser. Got to
Yeah,
tickle them.
no, we definitely want to have a true investment club
Yeah.
aspect to it, to where these people are making their profits from the trading and investing, but we want to really teach them how to buy real assets like real
Yep.
estate, so
Yep.
that they can start taking their money, get that cash flow.
Yep.
And so, yeah, at some point, we want to try by the end of this year to get our first property with
Oh
the
hell
group,
yeah.
with the members.
Yeah. That's
We
the first.
think,
We've got access to brokers. We've got access to people
Mhm,
that have access to deals, and you can invest in pools and just receive the dividend payment off that, and just the
exactly.
appreciation and everything, and be able to just like lay out a deal and like how to like the source, understanding what everything means.
Yeah, yeah,
Like a minimum type of investment too, which not
yeah,
everybody's gonna be able to invest in, but have the opportunity to be connected to people like that. Because I
Exactly.
yeah,
don't know about
yeah.
y'all growing up. I didn't have like I
Uh,
wasn't not I wasn't well off by any means, but I wasn't like having to worry about my next meal. But like I would have never heard my parents talk about some real estate deal or investing in some company or whatever. Like no, none of
Never.
that. You
Nope.
know
no,
what I mean? And so to
no.
even know you could be connected with people that like have access to that's what the rich does. Those are
Yeah,
those are
yeah,
the round table
yeah.
conversations they have. They're not talking
There's
about
a
the fucking Kardashians, and they're not
mm,
talking about their high school dreams and stories and sitting on coolers and drinking beers and at the bar. And if the coach would have played me, and I got
yeah.
fucked. Nah, fuck that. They're talking about, bro, how are we gonna get better? How are we gonna make money
Yeah.
together?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway, that's my
Seriously.
rant, but that's what we were talking about this week a lot
Yeah.
with
No,
a few
I'm
of our
very
members,
excited
and
about that.
and we got some people excited. We got some people that are definitely interested, and I think Dion will definitely help play a huge role in that
Mhm.
too when it comes to it.
Hell yeah, yeah. I used to see that in accounting too. Like the syndications, they're called
Yep.
syndication
Hmm.
deals. So it's
Yeah.
like the same. I would see the same investors, just like work, putting the
Constantly.
same percentage in, and then like just different location. And they already
Yeah.
knew. Let me put this 25 there, like, and they
There.
diversified location. But I mean, even with Trail, he's in like everyone's in their own market too. So it's like
Hmm.
if you
Hmm.
could diversify what markets you got, that's really like
Like
real empire.
he just sent us what the 360 unit
Yeah,
multifamily.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
It's
and
like
like,
I forgot it was like 12%
Yeah.
appreciation year over year, some shit, and the cash flow on it. I forgot what it was. I could look it up, but
bro,
I mean,
like, bro,
what's
I never
cool.
had access to that.
Well, yeah. I mean, and we have BK in there too, that could help us
Yeah.
out. But we
y-
have like these options to invest in different parts of the country,
yeah,
which I
that's
think
Yeah.
is
it.
another big addition to versus being just like in a group,
Yeah,
local group, investing
nobody's
group.
doing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody's
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
We're
That's a
also
good
looking to
concept.
become angel investors for the S pack for the OnlyFans
Oh,
IPO coming up.
Yeah.
Shout
You
out
guys can hit us
OnlyFans.
up at
hey, shout
Yeah.
out. Hey,
Wolves OnlyFans.
Inquiries at wolvesofwealth.onlyfans.com. Yeah, hit us up.
wow, we're pushing everything. I like it. I like it.
Hey.
I like it.
We're all about the money moves,
I
baby.
like it. I
We send
like
a feet pics and all.
Hey, I got a couple watches for sale. You just want to DM me?
Yeah. I
it.
just
Hey,
I
this
just hit
is real.
Chinatown
Yeah.
in LA for the rollie.
Yeah.
Check me out. Yeah.
Hey man, hey, this
Oh
is
man, that's
real.
funny. No, but all jokes aside, that's gonna be a really cool part,
Yeah, it
Justin,
is.
to be able to bring that to so many people and for ourselves.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
like I'm so crazy inside it, and I'll make sure that like people that are still close to me, even outside the Wolves of Wealth, they're definitely gonna have a crack at it. And it's
Oh,
funny you bring up
absolutely.
BK because BK's got IPO option. He's got, I mean, there's just
Yeah.
the community is endless, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy. It's
yeah. There's already a
crazy.
lot of wealth already in there. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah,
Well,
no, I mean, we could start talking about taxes since it is tax season.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
is
It is
upon
that
us.
time.
It's
Hey,
coming. It's
hey.
Yeah.
coming.
April is here.
Yeah,
April
with
is
the
here.
amount I just paid, motherfucking that inflation better come down.
Hey,
Shit.
seriously, seriously, you need to make more. Yeah, bro.
Cool, man. Yeah, I mean, with tax season around the corner, I know everybody, didn't get to be on that webinar that we first had with you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for
Oh yeah.
that. But could you just drop some, I guess, some tax tips for
Oh
everyone,
yeah. You know.
especially for, I guess, I would say trader related tax tips because that's what a lot of people want to know
Mhm.
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, no, we went into some good things. I think that was really, I mean, a lot of people, I got good feedback. I appreciated
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
opportunity. But yeah,
That
we
was
kind of
dope.
went,
Thank you.
the
yeah.
big
No, thank
thing,
you.
the big thing for traders we kind of went to was that mark to market election where,
Yeah.
you kind of tell the IRS, this is my profession as a day trader. This is what I do, which
Mhm.
in turn is going to allow you to take deductions, kind of what we went into, even like, we went into like the monitors, whatever,
Yeah.
education,
Yeah.
subscriptions, things like that, that you're, spending money on to get a return on. You're able to do that.
Yeah.
It's a section 475F election.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the election to use mark to market accounting. It changes the way that they account for your investments a little bit, where basically at the end of the year, whatever the market value is, that's what it's recognized. So it's kind of like where you recognize every gain every year on a year to year
Yeah.
basis. So
Nice.
so it's just like a new start on 1/1. You start with, that's your new basis, and you kind of run from
Mhm.
there. So
Yep.
that, we could, and if people ever want to ask any questions regarding that, I'm a CPA as well, so I could kind of guide you in that direction, because I think that is beneficial for, the amount. There are some rules that you have to adhere by to get that, be eligible for the election.
Okay.
I think the big thing is like time, the volume.
It's like per how many trades per year
Yeah, yeah,
have to
trade.
meet a certain number. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, how
Mhm.
many days of the week you trade on,
Yep.
it's like how much you hold in your account. Something, things
Yeah.
along that line. But
Okay.
yeah, but that was a,
Nice.
a big thing that we hit on. I think that was beneficial.
Does the market to market election get rid of the wash sale rule?
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I
Dope.
mean, there's no
Nice.
watch. So yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
basically
Exempt.
yeah, yeah,
You go from
yeah.
Yeah.
cash accounting to accrual accounting, really,
Okay.
right?
Basically, yeah, yeah. You just recognize everything.
So if you
Um,
make
Mm.
100,000 on one stock and then you lose 50 on it,
you,
like you're only gonna pay 50 grand in taxes
whatever.
versus
Yeah,
whatever the market value was
yeah,
at the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
exactly. You're
Because a
just
lot of people don't realize that if they lose that money within a month, within the 30-day wash rule, like a lot of people did on like AMC, like when they had that squeeze, right?
yeah,
Like if you
Yeah.
had that and then you lost it, you still have to pay the taxes on the
accident.
100 grand. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you have.
but you only had 50 left over.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And now
yeah,
you got 37%. You're like, fuck, that's
yeah,
37K in taxes I gotta
yeah,
pay.
yeah. Exactly.
You're like,
Yeah.
I only got 50.
I,
God damn.
yeah, so
Yeah.
you tried to double dip and got your hand cut off. Yeah,
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 exactly.
bro. Seriously, no, that's that's exactly
Okay.
a good
Cool.
connection to it.
So yeah, that's definitely something that people need to keep in mind. And what was the section? The form again?
It's election. It's the
For
475F election. Yeah,
Cool.
you
Four
could
seventy
look. You
five
could
F
look that up,
election.
and I think that, yeah, if you look that up, if you Google that, it'll give you a pretty good breakdown of how to
Yeah.
get that started, and
Mhm.
what that all entails.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that's through the IRS, right, Dion?
Yeah, yeah,
You had to go
yeah,
through the IRS for
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
yeah. It's just a
Okay.
change of marketing. It's just a change of accounting style. Like, so you're just telling them, recognize my tax return on this basis of accounting.
Got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Makes sense. Well,
So,
Justin, ask him about long-term
yeah,
investing because that's the one thing we've been pushing in our group a
Oh
lot is
yeah, yeah,
where
yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna be,
absolutely.
where
I
you
mean,
parking that motherfucking money that you're
yeah.
making.
Yeah, so
yeah.
like with dividends or like just yeah, long term like year plus, gains, is that a different tax bracket? Like what goes on
Oh
with that?
yeah, the long term. So you have your short term, um, your short term tax rates, and that fluctuates. Uh, to the top tier, we have then you have your long term, which is over a year. Any investments over a year. So your short term is anything that you buy or sell within a year, and then as well as your ordinary income that's included in your short term tax rates,
Yeah.
and then you have your long term tax rates where it's just a simple tax bracket. I have it too. We could put that up where
Cool.
there's it starts at 0%, then you have your 15%, and then your 20% at the top rate for your long term, and then you have and that's what we want to get to, where we're maxing out at 20 versus your 37% plus your
Yeah.
state taxes, where
Plus state tax,
you're
yeah.
giving up, but yeah,
I mean,
at
all, all,
least
all
50.
the wealthy people that you deal with, especially with the real estate, I mean,
Oh
isn't that their goal always? Is that
yeah,
everything's a long term investment?
exactly, and they
Yeah.
live and die by that 1031 exchange.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of
Mhm.
what we went into as well. It's like they're
Yeah.
parking their money if they're not already. They do have their long term investments that they have, in the
Hmm.
stocks too. But at that level of wealth, they're parking it in real estate because, within any climate of of the market of economy, real estate is going to hold if you're able to
Yeah.
hold on to it. If
Yeah.
you're it's like if you're able to hold on to it, you're not going to be like you're not going to remember when you know things the bubble burst. If you're able to hurt, like if it doesn't matter if your equity bounces up and down, if it's
Yeah.
gonna eventually, the trend is gonna go up.
Well,
So
it's kind of
Yeah.
like SPY, it's like no matter where you
facts.
buy, if you hold it long
Yeah.
enough, it's gonna
Yeah.
be up
Yeah,
at some point. Yeah.
exactly. Seriously though, like
If you buy every
exactly.
dip, I think
Yeah,
what there's a number I forgot. If you buy every dip from like 1980 or some shit like that, like you would be up just
It's
insane
insane.
amount through
yeah,
every
Uh,
single dip, bubble, .com,
yeah.
financial crisis, COVID, all that bullshit.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
That'd
no,
be
that's
interesting to
true.
look into though. No,
You'd
seriously
probably be
though.
insane. Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
I saw it. It was I forgot. I wish I kind of feels like a dumbass now saying it without giving the actual number, but it definitely was head turning. I'm like, whoa, wait a
wow,
minute. I'm like, really? If holy shit, I know 8 to 12% every year, but it was like just added X amount every year to it. It was like it's stupid money now. I'm like, holy shit,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
So
Yeah.
it's just where
But
your vision is, your scope is.
yeah,
Well, because
well,
But
that,
yeah, I think it's funny. Like some people go and spend fucking 5 grand on a vacation, but you say like, "Hey, go park 5 grand in a ETF." Go invest in a REIT, like a real estate investment trust or something.
exactly,
Like
yeah,
and
yeah.
their instant response is always like, "Well, that's risky."
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, it's risky to think that way.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Like,
It's the
seriously.
what the
pandemic.
fuck?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Seriously.
oh shit.
No,
I mean, not to even get in, but we can get into it. I mean, isn't that what they teach us though?
yeah, they
Ins-
are.
Yeah.
No,
Isn't that what they teach us nowadays?
that's the
Go
sick part.
buy the
Mhm.
car, enjoy the vacation. It's not all about work. It's not all about money. As long as you're having fun.
Yeah,
Blah blah blah. And I'm like, rich
Yeah.
people are rich. They're not having to work for their money, and they're probably having 10 times more fun than we all
yeah, yeah.
are.
They're
you know?
consuming the least and making the most. Like, yeah, like it's
But
crazy.
most people don't want to spend that time though. That first
Nah,
Yeah.
like, years to really work for it. And that's
nah.
like
Well,
that's the
think about
problem.
somebody like a Grant Cardone, right? Like huge
Yeah,
real
Yeah.
estate mogul. Like, bro, I think his portfolio is like 8 9 fit, whatever. It's massive, but it wasn't always there. He remembers
Yeah.
he's starting off buying his first property at, 28, 29, 30, whatever, and look what he built it to. And he's
yeah,
60 now, but the motherfucker's living his goddamn best life,
yeah,
doing whatever. He's been doing whatever for a long time, and
yeah,
that's not what society wants. The immediate gratification of going on the vacation, or like graduating school, 4-year university, and you think you fucking own the world and you know everything, and
E-
you
e-
deserve to buy the car you can't afford, and you should do this,
Yeah.
and all this kind of bullshit. I'm like, Like, fuck. And I could be personally me. I mean, I fell into that whole same thing, especially living in like Orange County and Newport Beach lifestyle. This, $600 dinners, $70,000 car, have the $10,000 watch, all that bullshit. And you think about it at the end of the day, you're like,
It
I
is
think about it now. I'm like, if
amazing.
I would have just invested even half of that money
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
something like that had cash flow or just would appreciate, I turned 25 and I realized I didn't have a single appreciating asset. I'm like, what the fuck am
Yeah.
I
What's
doing?
Yeah.
going? Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I just look around, and half the people I was like associated with or knew, they were just going broke, trying to prove to people that they weren't
We're broke.
broke
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's the thing. Then you only get capped at 20%,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
saying.
You hold it.
Like if you
Yeah.
hold it for a year.
Yeah.
And if you do have something less than a year, that's an investment property. No matter what, the 1031 protects you
Yeah.
to roll it in. Tell everyone what a 1031 exchange is.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
quick summary of the 1031. It's basically in the tax code where they protect. I mean, the tax code protects investors and people that are trying to provide housing for the community. So, if you're in that, capsule, it allows you as an investor to, when you buy a rental, um, a revenue generating asset, like a piece of real estate, and you hold that and you show the IRS, yeah, I'm running this as a rental, and I have it for 2 years. Once that appreciation hits, you're not paying any taxes on that appreciation. Say if you want to roll that money into a bigger investment, or a different type of asset in the real estate
Mm,
market. Say you might want to
yeah,
go commercial. Oh, you
yeah.
see,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do that. Let's buy units.
Mhm,
You have a timeline, which ends at 180 days, but there's a 45-day mark where you have to recognize things. But that's
mm,
kind of that's something that here or there the 1031 company will take care of. But it
yeah,
allows you to roll that money into another income generating asset that's probably of a bigger stature, without getting hit with any of that capital gain tax on that appreciation. And
yeah,
that's literally wealth. Like, to
yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's literally like, yeah, wealth.
well,
Like, if that's the American dream, if you could build wealth without paying anyone, like, and
oof,
letting anyone know about it, like, no one sees it. No one sees the
Yeah.
money you're
True.
making. Like it's
no,
crazy. Like, oh, no one sees it but you. And then, like, because a lot of these, another thing about the people I deal with, you wouldn't
Yeah.
know how much money that these dudes are
oh yeah,
old OG,
yeah.
they're literally wearing the same clothes. They'll
Fucking
go in,
sweatpants and
yeah,
slippers
yeah,
all day and
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're inspecting their own houses, like, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and you
No,
wouldn't
that's
know.
really it though.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
really
like,
it.
oh, that's why the vision on wealth. It's like, okay, like, let me just have things planting, like a lot of things planting, and then when it's time for everything to harvest, all right, let my children have that. Like, that's what it
Yeah.
kind of works. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, you get these harvest goods that I've been,
that delayed
yeah, yeah,
gratification that
yeah,
Yeah.
nobody wants.
yeah.
Yeah,
Seriously, no one wants,
it's
because they
just
can't
nuts.
see it. They can't see it.
Yeah,
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah,
yeah.
they can't see it, so
Yeah.
they just yeah.
That's
Out of
why real
sight, out of
estate is
mind.
boring. Yeah, yeah. It seems
Yeah.
boring
fuck
to some.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Everything good's worth waiting for, or some shit like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
yeah,
If
yeah,
it's
It's
too good
true
to be
though.
true, it's usually not. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
usually not true, like type
That's it.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, so hypothetically, I'll say this then. So let's say like I think that deal that was sourcing was like that the one that Justin and I that trail we were talking about was like the 360 unit. I think it was like 11.2 million or something like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Whatever. It was in I think like Texas somewhere, wherever.
yeah,
So let's say we buy like we invest or like somebody just bought that outright for $11 million. And then let's say in 10 years from now it was worth $50 million. So
hmm
you're telling me that $39 million goes unnoticed by the IRS, goes unnoticed by anybody else, as long as any portion of it is rolled into an additional property or an additional investment, specifically in the real estate space, whether commercial, residential, whatever it might be.
exactly. And the big thing is, don't let it touch your bank account. Let it sit in
Yeah.
escrow. Like, as long as it sits in escrow, and then move straight to that 1031, and you're like, I haven't seen it. Like
Yeah, it happened.
once it taps your bank account, that's when you're screwed. Like that's it. Like don't
Yeah.
like that's the one thing I'll tell people. I don't want to see them like don't give me any like hold it,
Yeah.
hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it.
Are
Because
you giving us
yeah,
tax evasion tips right now? Oh, Dion,
hey, game, game.
you want us to get caught. The third episode, guys. That's all we made it to, and now we're fucking canceled. I just got a text from my FBI agent. He said, "Slick one, Dion." I was like, "God damn it!"
That's
So it was a
right.
fun run, everybody. But fucking Dion has to come on and ruin the whole thing. Yeah,
Hey,
it was weird. He goes, "Hey, can you put the payment to me for this in a lock deposit box? Like, I don't want it in my bank account."
I
I
don't
was
want
like,
to
"What
see
the
it.
fuck are you?" Yeah, like okay,
Cash
bro.
only.
No,
Oh,
but yeah,
yeah.
like it kind of operates like that, and yeah, you won't see any, you won't get a tax bill, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know that's the thing. Like if you are in different markets, okay, say like appreciation in LA or California might have been topped, or all right, why
Mhm.
don't we just move it into a appreciating market in Texas where we could buy that because it might make sense depending on where your infrastructure
Yeah.
is, where
Yeah,
it makes more sense. Maybe it doesn't make sense to be here. And then
definitely.
if you're trying to scale, yeah, let's max doors out, and then work from there, and then you learn different things. You're able to, okay, do I like this class of asset? It allows you to dip your feet in different waters too with the
Yeah.
1031.
That's smart.
Yeah, yeah,
Diversify for
yeah,
sure.
for real.
That's what I mean, Justin and I have been talking about house hacking
Oh
for a
yeah,
while now.
Yeah.
In a state with zero income tax like a Texas or Florida, and
Mhm.
like a 4 to 12 unit property, and it's relatively cheap, and then you get some cash flow. You get to put your name on one of the leases and build the residency, and then as long as you're there 180 days,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
you don't get a text from your FBI agent saying why are you in California still, then then obviously you get to live for free, but it's not sexy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
but
Yeah.
leaving California, I think we've seen so many people doing it,
Yeah,
especially like
easy. I
Yeah.
because
think
I
it's
Dion and I are in California, and LA, Orange County, Inland Empire area, and I mean everything is just insane.
yeah.
It's
No,
insane.
seriously.
I can't believe it. Just
Yeah.
to get a house anywhere, if it's got if you're close to 2,000 square feet, I don't care where you are, you're gonna be up
Over
way over
mm,
500,000. And
oh,
even just 10
everywhere.
years ago, it was probably a third of that, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like, if we go look
Crazy.
at the data, but I'm just like, this shit's crazy. So you
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
people becoming cash poor as fuck just to stay slave to paying their mortgage every month.
Hmm.
And they can't even enjoy life just because they want to stay in California.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Or even
You
their
know,
The
rentals.
rentals, yeah, yeah. Rents
Yeah.
is crazy too. Yeah. It's
shit. I
crazy.
think the high rise I was living at in Orange County down by John Wayne Airport, there was shit like 4 years ago, it was 4 or 5 years ago actually. I was living down there, and
Okay.
there's 3,400 for a 2 bedroom, and it's like 1,400 square feet. It's pretty decent size for a 2 bedroom. Like it was a corner unit and two like master suites, and then a big living room and an open kitchen.
Yeah.
And then I went to look again this year. I was just curious. I'm like, I know this shit's been jacked. It's got to be up over four. It was $5,400 a month,
That's insane.
and
That's
that's on the that wasn't. I mean, for so it was it's a 25-story plus building. I got to think you get up over the 15th up to the 25th floor, you've got to be probably twice that amount.
Yeah.
I was only on the 5th floor, and
it
we were
doesn't
at
even make
34, and now it's
sense.
54, bro. I'm like,
That doesn't make sense. That like blows my mind that people are
yeah,
doing that. Like,
How could people even afford
the,
it? Like,
I mean, yeah, they
dude,
even
it's
if you,
insane.
yeah,
You're
that's
literally just
crazy.
pissed away. Like you have to pay in California. Like you
yeah.
have to be making almost six figures to even you're not even living comfortably.
Yeah, I
Not at
mean,
all.
even to have an asset to pay for like rent that high, it's like
Oh,
you have
bro.
to have a multi-million-dollar asset just to rent. Like what I mean? But you're like, that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
That
Dude,
sounds crazy.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like, that's
Not true,
crazy.
because yeah, traditionally you could just like have one like single door or duplex, and that pays for your mortgage, and
Yeah.
pays
Yep.
for your car now, and that shit doesn't work no more. You have to
Yeah,
have multiple.
no, yeah, that was the old like, okay, I have this, and we could
It
pay
pays
for
for
it. Yeah,
this. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No,
That shit's wild.
yeah,
Um, I was actually DMing with a buddy of mine, and we were sending something back and forth about something Grant Cardone said, where he said a house is like some of the worst investment for the consumer. Like just a single family home
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
is like one of the worst investments for a consumer. It's really a product for the bank.
yeah. It's a bank. You're
Yeah.
buying
Yeah,
money. You're just
yeah,
yeah, you're
and
buying.
I sent this thing. I'll send it to Brian. Maybe he could put the link to. I'm sure it's on Grant's page still. And I said to my buddy, he goes, "That's so stupid. Why would you rent?" And I'm like, yeah, bro, but I think what he's saying is, you need to have it's one thing to have an asset, it's another to have an asset that produces cash flow or produces revenue.
Yeah.
If you
Mhm.
buy the house and live in it, doesn't matter how nice it is, it doesn't matter how much it appreciates, and you could take out a home equity loan however many times you want.
Mhm.
Every single month, you still have to actively work
Yeah,
to get a paycheck to then pay for your house, to pay the
mhm.
mortgage. And who are you paying? The bank owns your fucking house
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
because they'll snatch
They're
that
waiting
motherfucker
for
up.
they waited to
Yeah,
take
they're
it
waiting.
back.
Yeah, because you know what? They're gonna get it from you and then sell it. And you
Yeah,
know what? Your first like 2 years on your mortgage payment is all fucking
and
interest
interest.
anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm like, bro, they're just laughing to the bank.
yeah,
Like they're literally have the opportunity to create. They could take your money and loan it out 9 times. People don't realize that the
yeah.
bank is
Yeah.
holy shit, bro. The
Well,
bank has it made.
I was
That's
reading
what.
something the other day about mortgages, and when you get a mortgage, they just generate the number on the screen. They don't actually like create more money or
No,
get money. It's
oh
just
yeah,
like
yeah. It's a
Oh no, yeah.
it's just a
yeah,
digital number
No,
essentially
it's
arbitrary
that
it's
gets
figure.
zeros and
created.
ones, bro. It's it.
Yeah, so
You
they
don't
don't have the money. They're just creating this
no,
fake
they
thing.
create
It's
it gets
insane.
it's in the thin air. That's why
Yeah.
people are like, "Why do they need to raise rates?" I'm like, "Why does the Fed need to raise rates?" Or what people borrow money. I'm like, because anytime the bank makes a loan, that is brand new money injected into the money supply.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So when you do that for business loans, you do that for mortgage loans, and you have first time home buyers at the high like 12% increase during COVID when half the country's sitting at home unemployed. I'm like, dude, is this not anyone think this is gonna end bad? Like this can't be good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And banks are just lending out money.
Money.
I
Yeah,
got I get shit from my credit union like fucking here's a like you're pre-approved for $80,000 car note at like 2.19%.
yeah.
I'm
They're
like,
giving out money.
what
Seriously.
the
Yeah.
fuck? I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, so banks, dude,
I mean,
they
people with
just
money are looking for debt. They're like, "Give me this debt," because it's like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
It's like, give me all this money because
yeah, they
I
want
can
it.
pay it back because I'm gonna make more money. Like my rate of inflation and return is outdoing what this interest is. So it's
Yep.
like
Yeah, yeah.
you're even making these richer people even more rich. Like
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah, you are.
crazy part because they're taking on more debt. Like, give me all
Mhm.
this debt
Yep.
because I'm gonna make investments in 2 years and be out of it. You know.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't lose any if they give out $1 million loan, it's not like on their trial balance, they like their cash
The,
account goes
the
minus a
deficit.
million.
There's no deficit.
That's not how
No.
that their AR becomes plus
Yes.
a million.
Yeah.
Your account they're gonna receive $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That like,
They
that's what
know.
people
Yeah.
don't realize.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
crazy. It's crazy
I'm
climate.
like, that's so to your point, Justin. Yeah, bro, they don't lose any money. If Dion puts $1 million in the bank in a savings account, the bank
They make.
can loan out $9 million
Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they can create nine $1 million loans to
Yeah.
loan
Yeah. That's
and
crazy.
earn 3 to 5. I mean, now I think the 30-year note it's been climbing a little bit. But
Yes.
like, yeah, dude, it's
Well,
crazy. I
mortgage
mean,
rates are climbing too. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
more, yeah,
Mortgage rates
Yeah.
it's
are
the
going up. Yeah.
I think I
Girl.
saw some article that there was like sevenfold increase in uh foreclosures
Oh, I did see
in
that
January.
too.
Did
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
send that to you, Justin?
I
I
think you
think. Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. And that kind of caught my attention because Dion, I'm not really, I'm not looking at the mortgage rate like every single day. I'm not applying for a loan every single day like that. But you're close. Are they still doing like adjustable rate mortgages? Is that still a thing?
People are. I mean, they're not.
Popular?
Brokers aren't like pushing. It's
They're
just
not
too
pushing like they used
volatile.
to.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
Yeah,
too, like no certainty and like I
yeah,
mean, there's never, but at this climate, it's like if you're
Yeah.
Okay.
pushing that, you're you something's up
Yeah.
on some side. Yeah. So
Yeah, you're what
nah,
are you doing? I mean,
nah,
there are some situations where the adjustable rate mortgage for somebody that has well credit, has a great job, has money already, like, it
makes
makes sense for
sense.
them.
Yeah, it
But when
makes
you're
sense.
giving it to first-time home buyers that don't make money, that are sitting on unemployment, that don't have other assets, bro, and then they jack that rate after a year, and all of a sudden your mortgage payment doubles that you couldn't even pay before. I mean, that's what ultimately led to the 2008,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
like, and so for me, I'm like, if that's still going on, then, like, we could be in more trouble. But
yeah,
to
yeah,
me, it seems like the credit card, the personal loans, because I get mail every day talking about open this credit card. You're pre-approved for a fucking $50,000 personal loan. You're pre-approved for the like. I'm just like, some people are probably like diving into
Maxing
this
shit
shit,
out.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, and I'm like, this to me, I don't, there we might have like a credit issue, not mortgage or whatever, a dot-com bubble, but like a real estate bubble. It could actually just be a credit thing.
Well,
yeah,
you see
Um,
people aren't even making their affirm payments and stuff,
I did see
yeah.
that. There was like a
So it's like,
50% fault on and a
yeah.
firm is to buy consumer
Consumer
goods.
goods.
Like,
Yeah, on a
like
payment plan,
on
right?
Amazon, you buy a
Yeah,
$100 thing, they're like, "Hey, here's 4 installments of
Yeah, but yeah,
$25,
and they
on
and you
can't even
can't make the
credit.
afford it.
$25 payment." Like,
It's
I think you need
bad.
to reassess what the fuck you're buying.
Yeah,
Uh,
Well,
it's
yeah, it's
crazy. It's
bad.
a crazy. Yeah, no,
dude,
no.
we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. I pray that nothing happens, but
Yeah,
when we printed the money that we printed, we're keeping, we raised the rates 25 basis points. Um, it's still nothing. I mean, banks
Yeah,
are
not at
still
all.
pushing loans. Guys, banks make money off of loans. Like, that's it. That's all they
yeah.
make.
That's their hustle,
That's
literally.
it.
They just
Yeah.
Yeah.
wake up.
Like, okay, that $25 fee that you might pay a month, or like because you don't keep a direct deposit in your account or some shit like that. Like, okay, yeah, but that's pennies compared
The
to like what the
loans, yeah.
fucking loans bring in, bro, from the interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, shit. We'll
Because most
see.
people just make their interest payment and that's it. And then
Oh yeah, yeah. The
never pay
minimum
off the
payment.
principal.
And yeah, the
Yeah.
principal gets fucked, bro. And the credit cards too is so easy to just swipe that motherfucker and run that shit up really quick, so I
Yeah,
mean, I pray nothing bad happens, but I'm just like, when you start kind of connecting some dots, you're like, we might be in a little more trouble than it's really perceived to be,
yeah.
like, right now. So,
Nah.
I'm not praying
Yeah.
for a crash at all, but like,
We'll
uh
see.
we will see. um
But yeah, we can wrap it up. I appreciate you being on, Dion.
yeah,
Hell
dude, that
yeah,
was
that was
cool.
fun. That was real
Yeah.
fun. Nah.
Dion,
Yeah,
where can
nah,
we
drop
find
some
you on
knowledge.
social, bro?
So
Where
Yeah.
can we find you on social?
on Instagram, it's Deion Reynolds, dot before the S. And then you could check me out on TikTok. I think it's Deion Reynolds Real Estate.
Cool.
Cool.
And then yeah, maybe we could plug in a link tree or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
no,
could do
Have
definitely.
that.
all that. Yeah, yeah.
Definitely put that
Plug
info
in
out for
and
you
just
for sure.
all the
Yeah.
wolves, whoever. I mean, just for sure, all the wolves reach out if they have any questions. I'm glad to help. There's everybody's a resource in it. So man, I just
I mean, that's
appreciate
the
being
point
able
of
to.
the community, definitely is like
Yeah,
Yeah.
having that
Mhm.
network of people.
yeah,
So we
bro,
appreciate you
and
being a
it's
part
like,
of it.
yeah, no, everything. I'm locked in, and it's
Yeah.
still inspiring. Like
Yeah.
keep that up though. Like keep trying to inspire, because that's that. Like seeing like grown people like of every age to young, like
Yeah.
everyone's being inspired by what everyone's talking about. Everyone's
Yep.
locked in, so it's like
Yep.
that's rare to have like that
Yep.
type of moment, like gravitation. It's hard to do
Yeah.
that, and keep
Mhm.
them there. Everyone's like locked in. Everyone's
Yeah. They're
back
all
the next
about
day.
it
Yeah,
every
yeah,
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's like you
Yeah.
can't don't take any advantage of that. People really like
Yeah.
are looking forward to even seeing more. So yeah,
Yeah.
keep
Yeah. I
that
mean,
up.
yeah, how many times I fucking call you like last year over text and ask, I
We
must
were
have called you once a
talking,
week
no,
for a minute, just picking your
seriously.
brain, whatever. And
Yep.
then I instantly was like, bro, I need to get Dion into he needs to be a part of the Wolves.
Yeah,
He needs to,
no,
Yeah.
he needs to be in here. He needs to share everything that I'm asking for me personally, for different businesses and stuff. Like, yo, we need to get you in here, bro. This is good shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like even like doing things every day, you think that people even have a base knowledge, and you forget what's novice.
Yeah.
Like and that's
Oh
like where I
yeah.
mess up. Like, oh, I think this might be so simple, but to someone else it might just switch how they even
Oh,
think of
life
everything.
changing.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Everything. Yep.
gotta keep
Yeah.
I gotta keep that in mind too. Is like
Mhm.
everything is a jewel. Like, you know, like, you know,
Absolutely.
just diamonds aren't the only jewel. Like, it's just
Yeah,
like
bro.
to who it is, who you're talking to.
Dude,
So it's
knowledge
like,
is power, right?
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
Justin?
no, for reals. You can't.
Knowledge is
So it's
power, bro.
like, let's
I mean,
keep. Go ahead.
I said that the reality of it is like we want to reach, kids,
Yeah,
so
Yeah, at the
like
end of the
breaking
day.
stuff down, that simple is like what's great because
I,
you want to,
nah,
I think what we try to do as the wolves and something Justin and I talk about is trying to solve, financial literacy like one conversation at a time, one person at a time,
yeah,
one member at a time.
yeah,
Because it's like, the pandemic is of the people that are financially illiterate, in my opinion. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like
absolutely.
you,
Or
I think
lazy, or lazy.
Yeah,
yeah, I
lazy.
Yeah,
mean, if you're lazy as fuck, you usually
they
don't know
line
shit
up.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're probably right there with each other,
Yeah.
So I mean, for us, like, bro, I think it starts with our generation,
Yep.
people born in the 80s, 90s, and we got to push it down to those that were born that are now younger than us because they are our future, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
Yeah.
so hopefully we can inspire people to listen to this to, maybe have a different train of thought, to ask questions, bro, to think
Yeah,
That's
independently,
it.
to not, be another cog in the wheel if you don't have to be.
yeah,
Mhm.
And maybe I'll just wrap it up with this is, we're trying to grow this podcast. We want to get people to tap in. We appreciate every single one of you guys that has subscribes, that listens at all. I'm gonna steal this from Andy Frisella, but if we're gonna ask for a fee, we don't run any fuck
sponsors.
Fee.
commercials or anything like that
Yeah.
on it,
Yeah,
no ads, none of that. Bro, if you got 1 ounce of knowledge, one fucking nugget, if we made you laugh, that FBI agent joke was pretty
yeah,
good.
Yeah, that was a good
But if
one.
like anything, tell a mom, tell a brother, tell a sister, tell
Yeah,
a coworker, tell somebody. Because like Dion said, man, it might just take one conversation, one listen, and it'll just flip
that's
your
it.
switch. And now you'll have a different mindset, maybe see the world a little differently. But that's it from me, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
yeah.
I appreciate you
Hell
having
yeah,
me on,
hell yeah.
Dion, man. Always a pleasure, bro.
That was
Thank you.
great.
When Justin's out here next time, rather
Yeah,
soon, we'll
We're
definitely
linking
have to
up
all get
soon. Yeah,
together for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Get some
absolutely.
drinks going, some dinner going.
yeah.
And
Let's do it.
Justin, now you can wrap it up, bro. Sorry to steal the thunder, steal the
Bro,
show.
that's it. I'm just gonna say wolves are out.
Let's
Hey,
go.
Wolves are out.
Peace.
Thanks,
Hell
Dion.
yeah, hell yeah.